Institute of Engineering and Technology.
Hello students, today we are going to discuss another series representation of any random function. We already have gone through how to represent function with help of polynomials of different degree and different order. That we achieved using Taylor's series. Also we have seen its special case, which is known as Maclaurin series. We've seen that how to consider Taylor series for any function which is in form of infinite convergent series. We also gone through some basic functions through Taylor series. We also obtained its radius of convergence, and we've gone through some limitations of Taylor and Maclaurin series also. Today in this discussion we are going to consider some functions which are not falling inside the series representation by Taylor series. For example, if I consider a function which is discontinuous, so obviously we cannot find derivative for all those functions. That means we cannot represent all those functions using Taylor's series representation. So in such situations, how to handle the approximate value of the function? It was Joseph Fourier who first of all introduced the idea of representing any random function with some limitations in form of trigonometric fundamental identities cos and sine. He was the first to introduce the idea of how we can represent any function, any random function with finitely many discontinuities, in fact periodic nature also, with help of sine and cos. So today's discussion is all about defining Fourier series representation of function. So remember, the fundamental difference in between these two series representation is, in Taylor series you are going for the polynomial representation of the function, whereas in case of Fourier you are going for the trigonometric representation of the function. That is the fundamental idea. Once we represent any function with help of cos and sine, it will be in form of a wave nature. Ultimately we know that any particle or any movement which is happening in this real world is not a linear. Ultimately all of them are following a particular helix path, or you can say in a section view it will look like a circular path. So almost you can say all functions in real life that can be interpreted with help of Fourier. This is the reason why in case of wave nature, in case of a wave propagation, you can always consider the solution which represents this propagation with help of Fourier series. In future we will see some very fundamental solutions like heat transformation from one medium to another medium, the wave propagation, and many other movements. With help of differential equation you will find the solution of all such equations, but there is another way of finding solution also which will be represented by Fourier. So in Fourier analysis, this will be your first step in analysis, which is known as Fourier series representation. So I will not promise you that at the end of this talk you will be able to convert all functions into Fourier series. There are some limitations, but at least you are now in a situation to represent function with second different possibility, which is with help of sine and cos. So let us start this talk with Fourier series. In introduction, I will give you one real life example that how human beings are designed to listen different waves or different frequencies. A sound wave which we are actually hearing with our ear, how the inner ear is functioning. Whether there is any correlation between these two, Fourier series analysis and our human body, or the analysis of the sound waves, or not. And we'll try to observe from the inner body to the outer space, which is known as the celestial objects, how actually the celestial objects are also following this rule. Or at this junction we can say they are not following the rule, but we can predict with help of Fourier series. So let us start this interesting discussion with these clippings. In this clipping I will try to make clear that if this is the waveform, then ultimately what we'll do, we'll try to separate all the basic sine waves or cos waves which are ultimately combinedly giving this wave. So what will happen? Whenever our ear is listening any sound, it will not listen that thing directly. It will listen separate frequencies at a time. Now suppose I consider celestial objects, like I am taking Earth in the center. Then what will happen? We'll see all the celestial objects moving around us. It may happen that sometimes you are focusing on moon only. Then it will happen that if you look at the situation of moon in that circular path around us, there are some days whenever it is darker, then there are some days whenever it is lighter, brighter, and then there are some days whenever it will look bigger, and then there are some days whenever it will look smaller comparatively. Why all these things are happening? It is happening because moon is not moving exactly with this circular path. It is moving in its own circular path also. So to understand this particular motion, what we can do, we can attach all different circles with the moon's orbit. This is the reason why we are following this type of elliptical path. So in elliptical path, actually you can consider all different radius circles. So whenever you will attach all these circles with the moon, it will happen that it looks like it is moving on ellipse, but actually it is moving on different circles. Now let us consider how we can achieve this thing. So if I represent a circular path with capital R e raised to I omega t, e raised to I omega t is, omega is the circular angle, and then R is nothing but the radius of this movement. So e raised to it means it is moving on a circle. Capital R is the radius of this particular circle. Omega is the angular velocity of the travel. If you observe carefully, what will happen if I add one more circle to this particle which is moving on this orbit? It may happen that we can add infinitely many such circles, and all of them are rotating. So what will happen ultimately? All of them are rotating. So sometimes it may happen that they are closer to the center. Sometimes it may happen that they are far away from the center of the motion. This is the reason why those paths will look elliptical. Now the beauty of Fourier series is you can draw anything, almost anything we can achieve with help of Fourier series. What we need to do, we need to find its infinitely many representations with help of sine and cos. Like here, see, if I consider this cartoon, the Simpsons cartoon, I want to draw it with help of Fourier series. You can find its Fourier series which will represent this sketch with help of some function, and then you can draw it very easily. So if you look carefully, or if you revise these clippings, you will see that there are many such applications of Fourier series which we are using actually in the real life. So this is whole idea about Fourier series, what we can do with Fourier series, and ultimately the main benefit is it comes in the most fundamental form of trigonometry, which is with help of sine and cos. So let us consider now the formation of this Fourier series, how actually it will look. So why Fourier series? So if we consider Taylor series of any function, it is for only continuous and infinitely many times differentiable function. So what will happen if your function is discontinuous, or it is periodic, or it is both of this? Then we cannot represent it with help of Taylor series. So in such cases, when the function is discontinuous, which is periodic, then and then we can apply Fourier series, and this means it is with help of trigonometric identities sine and cos. So Fourier series of function in case of continuous periodic is possible even if it is with the finitely many discontinuities. So let me consider the conditions for Fourier series. It is not like that you can find always Fourier series for almost all functions. What we can do, we can consider initially these conditions which are known as the Dirichlet conditions. So in Dirichlet condition, there are some clause like this, that if function is single valued, if function is bounded, if function is with finite number of maxima and minima, and if function is with the finite number of discontinuities, then and then only we can represent it with help of Fourier series. What do we mean by single valued? If you take one input, there cannot be more than one outputs, like it is happening in circle. If you take circle x square plus y square equal to 1, and if you take input x equal to 0.5, you will get two values of y. That means it is multi-valued function. The function must be bounded. Bounded in the sense, there must be some lines which can be represented by y equal to a, y equal to minus a, which are working as a bounds of the function. It will not happen in case of tan function. Tan function is reaching infinity from positive to negative, that means it is unbounded. So you cannot represent tan function with help of Fourier series. There must be finitely many maximas and minimas, like it is happening in case of sin x upon x. Whenever you are considering any function which is fluctuating infinitely many times in some interval, then in such cases we cannot deal with this with help of Fourier series. And the last and not the least, that is the most important part. In fact, if your function is with the finitely many discontinuities, still you can find its Fourier representation. So the first three are actually constraints, whereas I look at the fourth as a benefit which we are getting with help of Fourier series. So today we are going to discuss our first and the foremost case, which is actually helpful in almost all situations. If you will concentrate on this case carefully, you will get almost all answers for the Fourier representation. This is the most general case of Fourier series. Let us consider a function which is defined by f of x equal to y on interval which is given by c to c plus 2l. In that case, the Fourier series is given by this thing which is f of x equal to a0 by 2 plus summation n1 to infinity a n cos of n pi x by l plus bn sin n pi x by l. You should remember this particular formula by heart. Now let us consider what are all these coefficients. So the first coefficient is a0, which is 1 by l c to c plus 2l integration f of x dx. If I consider an, then I simply multiply my function with cos, and for bn I will multiply it by sin. So to remember this formula, whenever you are taking an is always reserved for cos function, bn is always reserved for sin function. In fact, a0 is a special case of an, b0 is a special case of bn. So now what will happen if I take example of this? If I consider Fourier series for f of x equal to x square for limit 0 to 2, means my function is defined only in this positive part of x 0 to 2, and I want to represent this function x square with help of Fourier series. Now the objective of this particular question is I want to represent this with help of sine and cos, which are actually waveform by nature, and this given function is nothing but a polynomial. It is a parabola. So at the end of this solution, you will see that how this is possible, how to represent any random polynomial with help of sine and cos. So comparing given interval 0 to 2 with c to c plus 2l, it gives me clearly that value of c is 0 and c plus 2l is equal to 2, and that gives me value of l equal to 1. So L is nothing but the half part or the half range of the given interval. So now the Fourier series for any function defined on c to c plus 2l is given by this formula which we already discussed earlier. Now let us focus on the coefficients. So main calculation in any example of Fourier series is for these three coefficients a0, an and bn. So if I take value of a0, value of al is 1, value of function is x square, and c to c plus 2l is 0 to 2, and then you integrate it, you will get your answer 8 by 3. Now let me consider the another coefficient, which is an. So it is 1 by l c to c plus 2l f of x cos of n pi x by l dx. Now if I take input of this, now here be very careful, as we are dealing with a special case of integration in which we'll use integration by parts. I hope all of you know the Leibniz formula. If you don't know the Leibniz formula, I will give you the link in this video's description, where you will find the note, or you will find the formula which is actually useful in this situation. It is known as Leibniz formula in case of integration by parts. It works something like this. My first function is x square, which is u. Second function is cos n pi x, which is v. So remember this thing. It will go for finitely many terms if you can find a polynomial part which is over here x square and it is represented by u. So how to deal with this formula? See, in first bracket I am writing u as it is. In second bracket I am writing integration of v. So in first bracket it is x square, in second bracket it is integration of cos n pi x with respect to x. So it is cos sin n pi x upon n pi. Then change the sign. Now again you take two brackets. In first bracket it is derivative of previous first bracket. So it is derivative of x square, which is 2x. In second bracket it is integration of previous second bracket. So sin, it is minus cos n pi x by n pi. So already there is n pi in denominator, so it will become square. Again change the sign for the third term. Draw or consider two brackets. In first bracket derivative of previous first, in second bracket integration of previous second. Now you look at this stage, my first term is 2. So if I write the another term, it will be minus, in first bracket derivative of the previous first, so derivative of 2 will become 0. So my process will end at this stage. This is in fact the easiest case to consider integration by part. And then I will take limits 0 to 2, as we know that sin 2n pi x and sin 0 n pi is going to be 0. My first and last terms are identically 0. So I am focusing only on the middle term. Cos of n pi is always minus 1 raised to n. So if I take x equal to 2, it will give me cos of 2n pi. So it is minus 1 raised to 2n, which means I am taking minus 1 raised to n whole square, which will result into 1. As well as cos 0 is also 1. So considering all these identities, it will give you 4 times cos of 2n pi by n pi square. As I told you that cos of 2n pi is equal to 1. So answer is 4 upon n pi whole square. So considering all these coefficients, now let us consider our last coefficient bn. So in bn almost calculation is same. You can see clearly, only replacement over here is cos with sin. So everything will remain same. But now I need to take cos replaced by sin. And then if you take input into this, ultimately it will give you answer minus 4 upon n pi. So now collecting all these coefficients and then considering it into our equation number 1, it gives me a0 8 by 3, an 4 by n pi whole square, bn minus 4 upon n pi, and then f of x is given by this thing. This is nothing but the Fourier series representation of x square. This part is the most interesting part which we are going to discuss now. That is how actually it is possible to represent this type of x square graph, which is a polynomial, in fact a parabola, with help of wave natured function. So let us consider my first value with n equal to 1. That series will give you this thing, 4 by 3 plus 4 upon pi square cos pi x plus minus 4 by pi sin x. This is nothing but simple formulation of that infinite series with n equal to 1. I am considering only n equal to 1. That means I am considering first term from that series, and it gives me this type of wave nature. Now what will happen if I add one more term into the calculation? So if I add one more term, it gives me 4 upon 2 pi whole square cos 2 pi x plus minus 4 by 2 pi sin 2 pi x. So now you can see the fluctuations are increasing in my calculation. So more the terms I am introducing, more the fluctuations are generated with help of this Fourier series representation. So now what will happen if I add all such fluctuations in my calculation? Here you will see that if I take only 4 terms, slowly it is moving towards that parabolic graph. This is the reason why Fourier series will help you to identify a particle which is moving on parabola and actually it is following a wave nature. You can imagine a situation where particle is moving on this parabolic path with the small perturbations. This is the reason why Fourier series is the most important analysis for any particle in motion. And then I am representing all such approximations in a single frame. So you can see frame by frame my graph is increasing its nature from wave nature to that polynomial nature, and that is achieved with help of Fourier series. So if you take infinitely many such sine and cos approximation in calculation, at the end of that infinite addition, what will happen? You will get a graph which is moving almost parallel to parabola, but it is following a wave nature also. So I hope this calculation or this consideration of wave representation or the sine cos representation with help of Fourier analysis was quite interesting for all of you, and soon we'll see more such cases in detail. Our next talk will be on a special case where function is even by nature, odd by nature, and how to represent with help of Fourier series. Thank you.
LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology.